What is up, guys? Dr. Senpai here, and I just got back from watching Thor Ragnarok. Holy shit. We got a lot to talk about. So yeah, this is my review for it, in case you didn't see from the title. But yeah, so first things first, this movie was pretty damn good, okay? It definitely deserves its 90 plus rating on Rotten Tomatoes, alright? Now, I don't know if you guys trust Rotten Tomatoes or any other review site, but I'm just going to say right here, I'm going to keep it real. This movie was pretty goddamn dope and pretty fucking awesome. So where do we begin? Oh, well, there's a few things I was kind of worried about. I was worried that this movie was going to be too much of a comedy. And, well, here's what I could say about that. It's really funny. This movie is hilarious. It's probably one of the funniest Marvel movies. In fact, this movie is probably one of the best Marvel movies we've ever gotten. I mean, this shit was hilarious. And, I thought it was a good blend, too, because there was plenty of action, and the action was pretty badass in this movie. So it was good that we got a good sense of action and comedy, which, is starting to become more of the Marvel movies. And I don't know why people say the Marvel movies are becoming, irrelevant now and everything, and or not irrelevant. I don't think that's the proper word, but they're becoming, not good anymore. This movie was great. I loved this movie. This movie was awesome. I think Marvel still got it. Now DC, on their other hand, they need to get their shit together, and hopefully Justice League is as good as Wonder Woman, because I liked Wonder Woman a lot, and this movie takes the cake right now. So yeah, Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok reminded me a lot about Iron Man 3, because if not really spoilers, if you haven't seen the trailers already, it was kind of obvious, but Thor's hammer breaks in this movie, and Ragnarok is happening. If you guys don't know what Ragnarok is, it's a thing that's in Norse mythology too, although I'm not exactly sure about the steps that happen in Norse mythology, but in Ragnarok, in the Marvel comics, it's basically the fall of Asgard, the apocalypse of Asgard. And this happens all the time in Asgard culture. Now, I don't know if they explicitly said this happens all the time in the Marvel movie, because I know they said, you can't stop Ragnarok, which is true. You can't stop Ragnarok. But I remember in the comic books, Ragnarok has happened like so many goddamn times. It's ridiculous. But it usually ends up with the leader, or not, I wouldn't say leader, pretty much the fire demons king, the king of the fire demons, Surtur, who in the comic books is so stupidly overpowered, which is pretty great. But Surtur will end up destroying Asgard, which always happens, and burns it all to a crisp. And this movie, Thor Ragnarok, the movie, wasn't all about the Ragnarok event, because the Ragnarok event in Thor was pretty lit of things that happened in the comic book version, which I'm not going to get into because, that this is not about the comic book. This is about the movie. But the movie did it pretty well. They did Ragnarok pretty well. I was kind of worried it was just going to be more Planet Hulk versus Thor Ragnarok, but I think they mashed these together quite well. It's like, in some movies how they cram a bunch of stories into one movie. Damn. What's a good example of one of them superhero movies that, jams too many storylines into one movie? Is it Batman v Superman? I'm not sure. But basically, this movie did well. One of the examples where mashing a bunch of comic book stories into one movie actually does well, which I'm glad they did. And yeah, just there's so much good about this movie, I can say. First of all, the movie's very colorful, which is pretty good. It has a lot of atmosphere, a lot of it's just and also this is easily the best Thor movie. I mean, Thor. I like the first Thor movie of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was not, it wasn't decent. It was pretty good, but overall it was kind of like small scale. I thought Thor the Dark World was one of like the worst Marvel movies, only because it's kind of forgettable. All it pretty much does is set up the Infinity Stones, one of the Infinity Stones, and you always hear about the arguments about like, oh, the Marvel movie villains suck, and that the villain in the Dark World who's referenced in this movie was probably one of the worst villains in this. And I'm not saying Hela is great by any standards. She sucks in this movie, okay? She sucks. She's worse than Ego from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. You know, I'm pretty sure I praised Ego for actually being kind of different, but I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, back on topic, but yeah. The villain wasn't very great in this movie, as most Marvel movie villains. You know, they kind of explained it as, now this is going to get into spoiler territory, that Odin had a firstborn daughter who was Hela. So Hela is the sister of Thor and Loki in the Marvel films, which she definitely isn't in the comic books. I don't know if she's like a creation of Loki or the daughter of Loki. I can't really remember, but I remember that she's in this movie she's the daughter of Odin. So she's another daughter of Odin, and that's pretty much all they talk about in this movie. It's just, oh yeah, she's the daughter of Odin. Accept it, no backstory. So that was kind of a shame. But otherwise, they did this very well. They introduced Valkyrie. They had Thor in the movie. They had Loki. They had Thor, obviously, and just a great mix of comedy and action throughout this. It was just so damn good. I don't know what else to say. They also did pretty good characterization of all the characters, and they fleshed out more characters. This is easily a good what's the word, character development for Thor. It does give a lot of character development. Hell, he even loses his eye in this movie, and I know that's a spoiler. I know. I guess I should put spoilers in the thing, but I don't know. If you're gonna watch my reviews, you're gonna get what you get. But he ends up losing his eye in his movie, which kind of stresses the fact that one day Thor will become Odin, which is a thing from the comic books, which I'm so fucking excited about that they're gonna do that. They're gonna do, yes, which kind of makes me believe that in Avengers Infinity War, they say they're gonna kill off a lot of characters, or I don't think they're gonna kill off a lot of characters. They're gonna kill off some major characters in Infinity War. I don't think Thor's gonna be one of them because he's gonna be the next Odin, which is pretty cool. And one problem I have with this movie was Odin's death. So Odin dies kind of in Thor Ragnarok. It just seemed kind of like, oh hey, I show up. Oh, Thor and Loki, you have a sister. I'm gonna die now. Marvel sent me my paycheck. Peace. And that's kind of it. And I thought that was kind of a problem. But otherwise, this movie was just a great mix of everything. And it's just wow. This is one of the best Marvel films I've seen. So if you guys want to see a good Marvel movie, definitely go check out Thor Ragnarok. But otherwise, that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm going to give this a solid 9.5 out of 10. I really liked Thor Ragnarok. I don't know if I definitely didn't expect it to like it as much as I did. But, really good movie, guys. So definitely check out Thor Ragnarok. I know this review was kind of short and not really specific, but, I didn't want to spoil too much of it, although I did give you some spoilers. Oh, and Hulk is in this movie, and he's great. So, that's all you pretty much need to know about that. That Hulk is great in this movie. Anyway, see you guys later. Peace the fuck out. 9.5 out of 10.